Hey family, welcome back to my channel. I want to come on here today and talk to you guys briefly about some spiritual things that I've been seeing come up lately. So you guys, it is spring break. My kids are out there playing their video games, so we have to share the airspace in here. So hopefully it's not too loud. I don't hear them right now, but they do tend to get excited. So just a warning before we get into our video topic today. So I saw a Christian video about Christians using Ouija boards. So apparently Ouija boards have been repackaged into something called spirit board or angel board. And I just wanted to let you guys know to be very wary of those type of things, because sometimes Christians get desperate and we want a word from the Lord. And even in churches, I've seen Christians go from church to church trying to get a word, right? So it's very tempting to use something that's packaged as angelic or spiritual and think that it's okay, think that it's a positive thing, but it still is still rooted in the occult. It's still rooted in darkness. Also, they also take tarot cards and repackage those as well, calling them angel cards or spirit cards. But you guys, the spirit behind that is still ungodly spirits. It's darkness. It's not of the Lord. So let me just be transparent with you guys and share a little bit. If you guys don't know me, if you're new to this channel, I like to focus on spiritual things. I like to talk about really spiritual experiences. I like to talk about the Holy Spirit. Really anything goes here on this channel. I like to try to keep it real on here. So a lot of people can't talk about spiritual experiences because they're afraid that people will call them crazy. They're afraid of how they will look. And a lot of times people are suffering in silence because they're going through, sorry guys, my chair is squeaking. But a lot of times people are going through spiritual attacks and spiritual warfare, and they don't have anyone to turn to because they're afraid of judgment, right? So this place is definitely, this channel is definitely a safe place for people that are going through spiritual experiences or spiritual attack. So with that being said, let me just share a personal experience that I had when I was younger. So you guys know, if you follow this channel, I did grow up in a Christian home, but we were very worldly. We weren't like the super strict kind of spiritual home. And it was non-traditional. So my grandma, she was like the head of the house, and then my mom lived there. My mom did, whatever she felt like doing, and we always stayed with our grandma. And but my mom also raised us Christian as well. My mom, I can say, she never dabbled in any kind of other spirituality. She was always a Christian, but she did, have some things that she went through, but it was just only Christianity. Well, my friend in the neighborhood, she actually had an Ouija board, and she brought it to school, and we were playing it on the bus. And I had played it a few times at her house as well. And I was really intrigued with it, you guys, back then. I was probably about 9 or 10 years old. And I remember just being so intrigued with it, and I remember trying to make my own. I took some paper and I tried to redo it because, of course, my mom and family weren't going to buy me one of those, but I just wasn't so intrigued with it that I wanted to play it by myself. So I remember doing that a few times, and when my grandmother found out about it, she was totally putting her foot down. You're not playing that. You're not doing that. She totally put her foot down. And I'm really glad that I had her there, because she really was a spiritual guide for us in our home. Like, she prayed and she really took the responsibility, the spiritual responsibility of the home. So we didn't get it as bad, but I will tell you, I always had a spirit of fear growing up as a child. I was always really scary. And I remember I would always see like dark figures out the corner of my eye. And I would like be really scared at night. My mom would say she always heard footsteps and stuff real late at night, all kind of sounds and creakiness in the house. And we had company come over at one time and they were saying the same thing. So I never heard it because I was in the room upstairs, and I never really heard it from like her perspective of being downstairs and hearing footsteps upstairs. I never fully experienced that, but I remember just being really afraid when I was young. I'm pretty sure that playing a Ouija has something to do with some of those fearful experiences and some things that I had saw back then. But it didn't last. That stuff didn't ever take root like that, like a full-blown haunting, because like I said, we were constantly in church. My grandmother was constantly praying over us. We constantly had devotions. It was like a lifestyle for us, even though we were, worldly. We dabbled in things of the world, but we kept our spirituality. We prayed and stuff like that. So it wasn't a full-blown haunting. So that brings me to the last part of this video. I just want you guys to be aware of Ouija boards and anything like it in similarity, and even the tarot cards and spirit cards, because when you use these things, most of the time average people don't have like that big spiritual experience where the board is moving and it's telling you all kinds of things. Usually it seems as if nothing happened, or you may be with a group of people and you feel like, oh, someone's moving this board, right? This board is not really doing this, because you all will put your hand on the board. So it's always kind of like, I'm not fully for sure if we really contacted anything, right? And usually nothing eventful happens in the physical, right? Nothing you can see. But then what happens is, after you do that, you definitely open spiritual doors. And it's in the weeks and days after that you begin to see a spiritual experience in your life. Like, you'll have a spirit of fear attached to you, or you might start to see little darkness in the corner of your eye, just like I told you I used to experience. You might start having nightmares and stuff, because sometimes it's just a very slow progression of the door that you opened. And if you don't have someone that is spiritual in your life to pray and close those doors that you open, it can manifest into a full-blown haunting. So I just want to let you guys be aware. Parents, if you have children, definitely be sure of who they're hanging out with, what kind of games that they're playing. Definitely be aware of it, because kids can fall victim to spiritual attacks, and they need their parents to protect them and to pray over them and to get whatever spiritual darkness off of their lives. So I'm really grateful I had a grandmother that did that for me, and there's no telling where I would be at right now, or what kind of experiences I would have been through in childhood if it wasn't for that prayer, if it wasn't for constantly keeping God in our house. So I just wanted to share that with you guys, and just know that I'm praying for you all, and I love you all dearly, and I will see you guys in the next video.